Finish him! Get over here!
Yo, what's going on, guys? So, if you have seen my Mastermind tier list, you probably saw that I placed Annette on the bottom tier, like she's the worst Mastermind in the game. Now, I was just kind of running a meme build here, which is the point of this build that I'm running. I don't know if you could tell by the equipment there. It's kind of having Immortal Yorick, but this match just proved me that even that build doesn't work too well, depending on the team you're facing. Like, you cannot even have the fun of playing it. As you're gonna see here, I'll commentate over the match so you guys can understand better what I mean. But this match just ended up, even though it was, like I said, it was just like a meme fun match. It just ended up showcasing really well, like all the points that make Annette the worst Mastermind in the game. So I'm gonna like point them out to you here, so you have a, so you can see better my reasoning for placing Annette on the bottom tier. Now, the first thing that's bad about Annette is that obviously she relies on creatures. Like, you can't really like play guns, traps on Annette. It's just not the way she works. She doesn't have the skills for making that a good viable option. Okay, so she's all about creatures and buffs. So as you can see right here, I have a creature that's all buffed all the way, and I have I don't know if you can tell by the equipment. So I have I'm using, by the way, the skills. I'm using the defense. So every buff that the creature has, I take 7% less damage, regardless if I'm controlling the creature or not. If I'm controlling the creature, I get another 50% reduction on top of those 70% of each buff, so that probably takes it to a total of 70% or something, which is quite a big deal. And also, I'm also using the other passive skill that increases the health, which I'm not sure the exact number, but it's probably increases by like 50%, close to that, 30% for sure. So it's a big number as well. And I'm using two equipments for the Resilience skin. For the greatly increased health from the Resilience skin, level 3, it's 21%. And the moderate, which I'm using both, is 15. So that's 21 plus 15 right there. Just pretty much another 30% health on top of the passive skill that I'm already using, which is probably another like 30%. So pretty much 60% easily total extra health on my zombies. And you can see still, like, they don't quite have that big of an issue killing them. More specifically, Samuel, for that reason. He does insane high damage. So, or Becca for that matter, will probably be able to do the same. So even with a build like this, it just goes to show that creatures are so bad to the point that, you see how easily he got killed right there, for example? Like, Samuel is pretty much the only one that's hating my creature, and he's killing it alone. And keep in mind, I have, like, again, all those numbers that I just mentioned earlier. They're working right now, and he's still, like, annihilating the creatures like nothing. Now imagine a base creature, okay? So this is a creature, a full buff creature, Annette. Now imagine a base creature, like if you're playing Creature Spencer or something like that. So it's just gonna be miles worse than what you're seeing right now. So that's why creatures are easily by far the worst thing in the game. And Annette is a Mastermind that relies solely on that to do pretty much anything at all. So that by itself already puts her in the bottom tier, okay? But there's more to that. So as you can see, there's also plenty of ways they can just run past the creature, like you just saw right there. They wouldn't even have to waste a bullet. Like just Tyrone kick alone, regardless of how strong my creature is, they can just like kick it once or whatnot and just go to do the objective. And by the time the creature gets up on the floor, they're already on area 3. So it's like, even if you have a super strong creature, they can easily ignore it. The creature, it's like 5 times slower than they are, the survivors. So even if you have like full buffs, like as you can see me here, the survivors still pretty much move as fast as faster than the creature. So you cannot keep up even if you're controlling the creatures. So that by itself, I already showed you, like, even if they try to kill the creature, regardless of how much health you have, they will easily be able to do it. So that's one point. And the second point is, if they don't have that damage, they can just ignore the creature altogether. So you lose either way, and then that's pretty much nothing you can do to counter any of those two methods they can use to counter you. So if they try to ignore the creature, what can you do? Nothing, because you're slower. So you just lose. And if they try to, kill you, you can go full equipment on health like I'm doing here. But then what's the point? You're just gonna die in 5 seconds anyway. Instead of dying in 1 second, you're gonna die in 5. So so. Not much difference there. Now I did mention about stunning with keep in mind they're not using Kashimas as well, so that's something that they can also use if they wanted to. So if you happen to control the creature like this, they could also just Kashima you like once. And you know, the stun of the Kashima itself already lasts pretty much like 5 seconds before the creature even move again. So that 5 seconds that I mentioned the Samuel takes to kill her, you know, you're not even going to be moving. This is another problem you can see there. The Jan with the shotgun. And you know, in this case, Jan is doing this, but any survivor can do this. That Jan in particular, she's also using equipment for increasing the knockback. So the effect is even worse than normal. It's already this bad, like without the equipment, but the fact that she's using knockback on top of that just makes it a little bit worse. Okay, just so you guys understand. Now this is the second problem, but this is pretty much for all bioweapons. If they have Tyrone, he's gonna save his ult, and just like that, you can't really kill anyone because they take 0 damage essentially. So your bioweapon has no meaning whatsoever on the map during that, while that special ability is active, and he will always have it active every time you use your ability because it charges faster than your bioweapon will. So you know, you're pretty much guaranteed to have like, that was what, like 30 seconds of something where she was taking no damage. So and the bioweapon takes like 1 minute, so pretty much half of your bioweapon is guaranteed to be useless just because of Tyrone existing. You know, so this is the point that I'm trying. So this is the point of the build. You see I have the healing there, so I'm watching his health. See, so I recovered, and also have the mod. So if I control him, he will also go back to full health because of the mod that I'm using. But I was just so surprised right there because you can see the Yorick was like a half health, and he only took like 1 hit from Samuel and 1 hit from Tyrone at the same time, and he was dead. Like his entire half health was gone just like that in 2 hits. 1 from Samuel and 1 from Tyrone. So it was like, holy shit, because I was trying to use the mod before, you know, when he was about to die, not too early. And I was so surprised that he was like fully half health and he was still able to get killed in like 2 hits. Literally 2 hits. Considering that, you know, it was only 1 for Samuel, because Tyrone's obviously not that strong. So yeah, so you can see right there, even Yorick, with the equipment that I'm using, he probably has like way more than like 7,000 health or something like that. And keep in mind, I'm also using defense, so he was fully buffed there, so he was also taking less damage. So just imagine the base how it would be. It's just like ridiculous. So you see, this is what I mean. You see how she's shooting me with the shotgun? This is pretty much the same effect with the Kashima. They can do this to any, you know, any creature whatsoever. You know, it's not really based on Annette, but you know, Annette works even better because she has the buffs. So you essentially don't have to deal with the creature whatsoever because the creature is not able to move because you're constantly stunning her forever. So there's no like cooldown. She can just keep stunning you forever until you die or into eternity essentially, until she runs out of ammo. Which, because she's a Jan and she has discount, she's never going to run out of ammo. You know, so she can hold you the entire game if she wanted to, like full 10 minutes. Just Jan alone, okay? Because like I mentioned, every single survivor in the game can do this. It's not just Jan. You see what I mean again? Like Tyrone with the ult, your bar weapon is essentially useless. And I did mention as well in my tier list video that Birkin is the worst bar weapon in the game. This is something another point as well. Because she's using knockback, she can actually release him from my grip a lot faster as well, just because of that equipment on knockback. So you see right there, she wasted like what, 2-3 shots, not even that, and she was able to release the grip just like that. You know, just like nothing. Like I didn't even grab him whatsoever. So completely useless. Like you're essentially never gonna be able to kill someone. Not to mention that it takes forever for that animation to you know, end where Birkin grabs someone. Obviously he's very slow. You can tell like you need to enrage, which is the R1 button for him to even move. Yeah, half the speed of the survivors. You'll probably be able to see that a little bit at the end. So yeah, that's already goes to show. But pretty much the stun in itself, you know, it's kind of already breaks the game. Like it's essentially like a Kashima, but in a much cheaper, because you only take like 1 shot for the shotgun, and the creature is stunned for essentially the same amount of time that the Kashima would. You know, so you could do this with Daniel as well. By the way, it's just that Daniel has endurance, so if he's using endurance, it wouldn't work. But if he's using anything else, it would. You know, regardless. So the Kashima is really mostly the better counter for Daniel for that particular reason. And you can tell there's really like no, you as the Mastermind, there's really no counter to this. Like there's absolutely nothing you can do. Keep in mind as well, she just used one flashbang right there, 2 flashbangs right there. So just keep counting on your head the numbers of flashbangs she's gonna be using. I'm not sure if she's using surplus or not, but possibly that's not even from using surplus, okay? Because she could be using nullify to deny traps, for example. So you can see right there the moves, like I mentioned on my tier list video as well. Like the moves for Birkin is really hard to hit because he's very slow, His attacks are very precise, and they don't really do even that much damage for how precise they have to be for you to even like get the hit on. So yeah, you can see like there, and this is what I mean. Like if he's not in rage, he moves at this speed, and then you can see that speed is too slow. Like he can't do anything, or even catch up to the survivor. That is his best attack, the 600 damage, but. You know, because it has that recharge on it, it's really stupid. It should be like Mr. X, but because it has a recharge on the attack, you cannot just keep hitting them over and over with the same attack, so it just makes him even more useless. You can see right there, there's another point. Tyrone just, you know, let's be optimistic and say, like, let's say all the survivors in the map that have 0 ammo, and you grab someone with Birkin. Just the fact of Tyrone existing, he can just kick you like that for free, and without needing any resources whatsoever, he can deny you the grab. Okay, so again, there's another reason why Birkin is really bad. The same thing applies with Samuel, because not only has that insane high damage with the sledgehammer and whatnot, but pretty much anything really. But you can see right there as well, he has the fever skill that he can recharge that at like every like 30 seconds or something. And again, he's doing like insane damage for like no cost whatsoever. Keep in mind, every time he kills a creature, his fever skill lasts longer as well. That's another skill that he can have if he wants to. So, and again, all that for 0 resources whatsoever.
You will need to do more to escape.
This is another problem there. I don't know if you could tell, but Janet in itself, she's not going to be doing anything else besides camping your cameras. And especially on Area 3, where you only have mostly 1 cameras on like 99% of the maps to defend the core. She essentially just destroys your camera, and you can't do anything, pretty much, because you need cameras to spawn creatures to do anything whatsoever. So as you can see right there, she destroys the camera. You know, unless you have, especially if you don't have like recovery equipments for the camera, which if you're playing a creature build, most likely you won't have. So you're gonna take like 10 seconds for that to recover, and then she can use the power on top of you trying to recover and reset it to 0. So that 10 seconds extends to like 20 seconds. And then essentially 20 seconds you cannot defend the core, while Samuel only takes 5 seconds to destroy it, without wasting any resources, by the way. So yeah, I mean, I hope you could tell by now, but you know, it's pretty much a lose scenario for you as a mastermind. It's really just not a matter of skill. It's just too much things they can do that you cannot counter whatsoever, and they are insanely to their favor. You know, so it's essentially broken. I guess that's a better way to say it. It's just broken. You're not gonna win. It's impossible. They have to let you win, pretty much. So especially if you're playing like squads like this, if you have like a guy on the team that's called Little Toxic Blab, like, come on, you already know you're gonna be facing players that abuse everything that's wrong with the game. And so it's hard to say how much is really. Don't get me wrong, like they're pretty much like the best players out there, but you know, it's kind of hard to really say how much is really their skill and how much is really just them abusing everything that's wrong with the game. That the mastermind can really not do anything about it, regardless of his skill level. But yeah, anyway, if you happen to find like a team that's like has like toxic in their name, like, you know, you should already be expecting something like this, that they're gonna be abusing everything possibly in the game to beat you, you know. So especially if you're playing like the bottom tier mastermind, you know, like I already knew I was gonna lose this match, especially because I already know them. I know they abuse everything, so that's why they are kind of called the best. Because, you know, part of that is because they abuse everything, obviously. So yeah, I was just kind of, it was really just a meme match that ended up being a perfect example. Keep in mind, take note of the flashbangs here and the grenades as well. If you count them, I think there was a total of like 10 flashbangs here. I don't know if they have any more. If they had any more, they just didn't use it. But that was probably right there already, like 10 flashbangs. And maybe 5 grenades or something. Keep in mind, they could have used all of this throughout the match, okay? Besides everything I just mentioned, like the infinite powers, no resources, high damage, besides all of that, if they wanted to, they could just use those flashbangs alone to do the job, okay? If they didn't have all the other stuff. So yeah, guys, hopefully that goes to show why Annette is the bottom tier. And this is what you can expect when you're playing a team that abuses everything. So yeah, that's the video. See you guys in the next one. Take care.